Last time we achieved this, which was not so impressive, so today we achieved this. Stay with us to find out more. In previous video we achieved this. Frankly speaking, it doesn't look so well, but this was the foundation steps toward Jsoup and web scraping. Today we will improve it a little bit. Believe me, Jsoup is really powerful library. It can do a lot for you if you learn it. So if you haven't watched previous video, go and watch it and continue with us from here. So I will open my file which I have saved last time here. This is my file. I will open it. And here, where was we? I think we was at featured. So I will search featured and tap down arrow few times until we find these featured posters. So we was about to get this div element with this specific class. This is possible with a simple syntax. So here we will type in div bracket class equal sign, then class name and close the bracket. That's it. Whenever you want to get some element with some specific class, you type it that way. Another correction I want to make, which I made mistake previous time. Here we are getting e.getMessage in return, but I am not doing it correctly. The correct way is in add source directly, assign that value to a string and pass that string in return. From here also, we are returning directly text. Instead of, we can assign that text to a string. Here at onPostExecute, we will set that data which we just got from that element in a text view. Now we are getting it, but it is too cryptic to understand. So instead of converting the element to a string, let's just get only text from that element. So we will be more sure that we are getting only posters. Now it is somewhat readable. Now if we visit that page, it starts from this point, featured posters, and if we turn on desktop mode, it ends here at the end of menu. Okay, but we don't want it like that, right? So what should we do? We are going to use for loop as general purpose. Normal websites are theme based, so all posters must be semantic. They are placed in some kind of similar elements, so we will get all those elements. Our goal is to get all posters in a list map. as initial purpose, we will try to fetch all div elements in our content element. So we will use this block elements posts from element content E, select all div. So basically here we are getting all div elements from a parent element which named content E, which we already created, and putting all them in a list named posts. So in for loop, first parameter is post and second is that list posts. So in the for loop we will pick up that list and go through all elements one by one. Now hide the scroll view to make some space for list view. Add new linear, change its ID to we should not mix it up with others. Inside that linear, place the list view and change its ID also. Set padding to 0. We will create a list string, and at do in background we will add data to that list string. Using this block, text from element. Before execution, on pre-execute we will clear that list string so duplicate data doesn't add if in future we adds data multiple times, for example. So after execution, on post execute, we will show that data in a list view. It works, but what is that? Who want to see duplicate and unorganized posts? Some of them are not even posts. So actually our program did what we literally told it. We told it create a list of posts. For that, get source element is content E. From that, get all divs. So it fetched all divs. First parent div, inner div, in most inner, more inner, and so on and so forth. And that's how it got that giant list. So there is a workaround here we can do. We can tell our program that grab only div elements with some specific class. Another thing, it might be difficult for you to identify which section we are working with. For that, I have placed this block, copy to clipboard. Inside it, placed content E element to string. And when I compiled the app, run it copied that code to clipboard and opened web to text HTML source code viewer app. Clicked on view in editor, there pasted that code, clicked view as HTML. Now I am rest assured that I am working with correct section. We have all posts here. And back to editor, I can identify in that content where particularly posts are. After spending some time on observing the code, it took me some time to figure out that featured post is placed in a div element with a special class named widget featured post. So I copied that class name and decided to target featured post only. We are creating a new element featured E from element content E, first div element with that class. So here I will type in div bracket class is equal class name widget featured post, close the bracket. This time we are targeting only one post, so we don't need a list view to show it. So we will set post's linear height rep content and add another linear and set post's linear padding or margin something, so we can transfer our newly added linear above it. Okay, change its ID. We want to make it look like that. We need an image view, a title, a timestamp and a text view. So we will add these items here in our main view. Image view width, match parent, height rep content. And set background color that teal green. Text view colors white. Scale type fit center, so it will fit according to available space and image size. So to show that we don't want to create mess at on post execute, so we will create a more block. We are adding a boolean variable here. So if we pass yes, we will make these things visible, otherwise we will hide those views. We don't need to set anything in them. Okay, so how will we get data? If we create strings, there will be too many variables for more posters etc. So we will create a map. In map we can store a lot of strings with different keys such as title, image, time and text. Oh, so I wanted to keep my more block void, but I created it as a string. So I will add data to collection. Delete previous one and create a new more block. Inside it, place data from collection, restore it as it was. We will call it from onPost execute with boolean parameter true, and at doIn background we will put data in the map which is required. This is different data sets, so here are high chances of mistake. Our website theme changed, we don't get data, our app may crash, so we will place it in separate try and catch block. In that catch block we will pass a different message, so it will help us during debugging if required. Now I'm going to hunt for data for these keys. First, let's hunt for the title. So where do you think in that source code the title is? I think it is here, H3 element. Let's try it. Create new element with name F title E. From element featured E, get first H3 element with class title. Excuse me, but let me correct my mistake. Previously I typed link instead of image. I was not able to hold my patience, so I wanted to test my implementation as quick as possible when it was still incomplete, so it used to look like that. And another thing, if you remember, we have placed this code which copied featured element to clipboard. So I opened source code viewer app and clicked on view in editor, pasted it in editor, so it was a little bit easier to find things with more narrow, more specific data. Now I was looking for the timestamp. After staring at the code 5 to 10 minutes, I found it. It was an A element with class timestamp link. So I copied it a class timestamp link and fetched it using this block. After title and timestamp, my next target was post content itself. So when I went back to source code, it doesn't took me much time to figure out where is the text itself. But it was nested in several div elements, so I copied the innermost div element. Now things are getting interesting. So let's make some changes in the UI. Set featured linear height wrap content. Posts linear margins 0. Featured title width match parent and gravity center. Now we want to get more posts, so we will go back and open the whole document and search for what we are looking for. If we look into browser, here posters are below that point where it is written recent posters. So in the source code, recent posters are here. Probably our posters are in that div element with class widget blog. So I will copy it and try to get it. This time I will use this block, first element from the body. So as input I will enter div with class widget blog. Okay, so I will call it posts data e. Okay, just for testing, previously we was getting posters from content E. Now here I will replace it with posters data E. So just for testing, we will get them in a list. So I compiled the app and result was as expected. All data was there. List was messed up only because we are getting all div elements. So I am now 100% sure I am on the right target. Now only thing is to organize it data as per our need. Now we will show items as proper posters. For that we will need a custom view, and here we will create a layout similar to previous one which we have created in main view for featured posters with minor changes. Background color will be white and text color will be different from previous. We will assign that custom view to the posters list view and define onBind custom view event for that. Those keys are not set yet, but we will add data with same keys when we define the list map and the doing background event of async task. Okay, so we will create that list map here. And we need a temporary map. Okay, so for these posters also we need, similar to featured posters, blocks. Instead of creating new blocks, I can copy those blocks and change the required element IDs. Okay, things are getting complicated now. Those elements are in another block. This may cause a scope problem. Most of us may not understand what is a scope problem, but for now we will just remove them, and clipboard we will copy posters. We will add that temporary map to list map, and on pre-execute, before every execution, we will clear that list map. Just as precaution, we don't want infinite growing list map in future. On post execute, we was passing the list string, but now we will pass the list map, and as now we are setting data in custom list view. Okay, so when we compile the app, we got this result. We can't understand what is it. At least we got posters in clipboard. When we go to web to text HTML source code viewer and view an editor, there I will paste. I think this one is correct. So I will paste it and inspect it what we have to get now. No, not this one. So I'll go back to code, sketchware pro, and there I will get that copy to clipboard block out of that, place it here and copy post data element. Then compile it. When we compile and run it, add copied post data element, and then again go back to that app and paste it here. Now check if it is the data we want. And yes, this is the right place. We have post is here. So let's scrap the data we want. So we want a title, and the title is here with this h3 element with the class post title entry title. We will create new element named post title E. From element post, select first h3 with class post title entry title. And we will extract text from that element. We will create two more elements for post time and post text. Now here in the source code I am looking for the timestamp, and timestamp here is here the span element with class byline timestamp. After timestamp I am looking for the text itself, and text is there in that div element. I will copy its class to grab it. Now finally our app is ready. Let's compile it. It is not yet ready. It got only one post. So where is the problem? I think here we are getting all div elements from that particular thing, but we have to get something else. So let's go back to code HTML source code and see what do we have to get. Actually, this video is really cropped. I've processed it at editing time to save your time, but in reality it took me a lot more time to scrape that. So we have to get this article element with that particular class. Okay, so we will get it. Now let's compile it. Yeah, now it's working fine. Okay, so what was I saying? I was saying I have spent a lot of time and still this is a really long video. But to be honest, Jsoup really worth it. If you spend time on it, if you practice, you can scrape any website. And of course, this video is for educational purpose only. You can do a lot more with Jsoup. Only thing is that you have to spend time. And yeah, my app is still not perfect. We have to get images, but these images are kinda tricky. They are not in HTML. Yes, it is. Code is there somewhere in that HTML source code, but it is not HTML. It is in CSS queries. And of course, yes, we can get CSS queries also, but that is topic for another video. In next video, we will learn to get these images from the CSS query.